Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Nz Ntima, and I will be discussing today on why writing should be taught as a process rather than a product. So firstly, I will speak about the background to process writing. So through process writing, students and teachers go through the process of producing text together. So the teacher actually helps the students to produce a text together by giving them strategies. So process writing is different as it does not require a text model like a product approach. So it's not too formal. So students are able to brainstorm. Students are free to brainstorm about the purpose of their writing, and then students have many chances to draft and revise and give feedback of what they think they might write about. So it's just more of a free approach to writing. So there are stages to process writing, which are four. This is the pre-writing, and then drafting, revising, and then lastly editing. Underneath, I've just written a bit of subtopics that are under pre-writing, but I will define that in the next slide. So firstly, it is pre-writing. The examples of pre-writing. Pre-writing is basically like allowing students to brainstorm. On my right hand side, there is a definition of brainstorming. It is a group discussion to solve a problem or get ideas with creative comments encouraged. So here the teacher is required to ask learners to come up with ideas of what they are going to write. So the students are just going to brainstorm and think about ideas of what they're going to write, and then they're going to find the purpose of what they're going to write about. And yeah, and then on the next slide, it is drafting. So here in drafting, it's basically drafting down what you were thinking about, the ideas that you had in your mind. Now you are drafting them down, you are taking them out of the mind map that you were writing when you were brainstorming. And then here in this phase, learners are just drafting down whatever they remember about a certain topic. So the accuracy of the language here is actually not necessary, as it is a stage where the teacher is just supposed to look whether a student was able to draft clearly or put her ideas on paper. So students are given a chance to draft their ideas without being penalized too much of their punctuation and grammar, because the time to revisit their text and edit it they will be given later in their last draft or final review. And then our third one is revising. So in revising, learners get the chance to reorganize their text, as I have said before, and change and improve some ideas. If there's some punctuation and grammar mistakes, then they try to fix that as well. And then after that, teachers give feedback of what they have seen in the students' work, and then they give good feedback so that the student good and constructive feedback so that the student can actually know where to correct their work. And then our last one is editing. So here in editing is almost the same as revising, but at this stage students had written several drafts, so it's a matter of proofreading, punctuation check, grammar check, and spelling check, and then they can submit their final writing. And then on my slide 8, it's the differences between essay and transactional writing requirements. On my transactional writing requirements, I have written the differences, which is written for specific audience, more specific purpose, between 120 and 150 words, and text style and tone. So in transactional writing, basically it's almost short. It's usually our emails, our letters, etc. So it's more formal, it's for a specific purpose. You just have to know what you are writing about when you're writing those kind of things. And then when it comes to essays, it's more of a creative exercise. It's almost entertaining, and reflective or argumentative. It depends what kind of topic you are writing about. And an essay is actually longer than a transactional writing. And transactional writing, as you both know, it can range from 250 words and more. And when you're writing an essay, you have to be sure that it is a single clear central idea that is displayed throughout the whole paragraph. And then I've already stated the examples of transactional writing, which can be letters, emails, and speeches. And then on our essays, it can be narrative, reflective, or descriptive essay. So here on my slide number 10, I'm going to be discussing the descriptive essay and the letter that I can give to students, and the writing approach that I would use for the descriptive essay or letter that I have given to my students. As I have written above, it says write a 500-word essay describing how the outbreak of COVID affected you as a student in South Africa. And then underneath it says write a 150-word letter to your friend who moved to the US and ask about the state of the COVID-19 outbreak in the US. So firstly, the process of writing approach I would use in terms of the two texts that I've given to my students is first ask my students to brainstorm about the effect of COVID in SA. But basically what I think I would do, the second point I will start with, and then the first one, it will be my second one. I think I made a mistake there. So it's basically to ask the students to write down everything they remember about COVID-19 before they actually write about the effect of COVID-19 in their countries. They should just write about everything they remember about COVID, and then write the effect of that thereof. And then thirdly, ask the students to revisit their text to make sure their ideas are clearly conveyed. That is after they've jotted down all their ideas. And then lastly, ask the students to edit and proofread their text to remove mistakes of whatever that they have written. And then my slide number 11 is the 4 benefits of teaching writing as a process. So I love this one because it's basically points that are visible and dominant, fosters creativity. I mean, when a student has to write the same essay 5 times, then they'll be more creative with it and they will have more ideas about it. Fosters collaboration. More students want to talk about their work. They help each other to improve their work. They look at each other's work to add some ideas. It improves students' language and writing skills because they keep on writing the same thing and they keep on proofreading, and rather than just writing one essay in a one go and then submitting it. You didn't get the time to check your spelling error, grammar error, etc. So it fosters the zeal for excellence. I see that it fosters the zeal for excellence. Students tend to become more excellent in writing skills. The 4 challenges of implementing the process approach. The dominant one will be time constraint. Yes, there is time constraint because students have to write 5 essays of the same essay, which may cause procrastination from some students, and it requires actually more support from the teacher because students will be coming back and forth to the teacher to be asking support about their work, of how far they've gone. So, and the lack of resources as well. If there is no resources such as the internet for students to research on a certain topic, that can cause time constraints such as procrastination and then the questions for the audience that I have, number 1 in my slide 14 is, as a senior phase teacher, would you encourage process writing in your class? The second one is, if your answer above is yes, how would you deal with the time constraint? And then the last one, tell us of a teaching strategy you know other than process writing to improve learners' writing skills. So my answers are written here above. I would encourage process writing in my class because it improves the language of students. Yes, it does. And then secondly, to avoid deadlines, I would be strict in giving my students deadlines in terms of submitting their ideas. And lastly, to answer my last answer is, I would introduce topic debates before giving my students 2 topics to write about. I would ask my students to do their research and then open a casual debate about it. Therefore, students students would share different ideas. So, ladies and gentlemen, that was my presentation. Thank you. On my slide 16, you have our references.